Good afternoon, everybody. This is Calvin Milford with your Pickens Academy Sports Live Network here on YouTube. It's time for our weekly coaches show, and as we've done the last several weeks after a road game, we have picked our offensive and defensive player of the games post-game, and we're going to interview them after last Thursday night's 48-14 victory over Success Unlimited. Our defensive player of the game, number 54, senior Trent Thompson.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing today, Trent?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Tell us about Thursday night's game. I almost want to say Friday night's game. That's what I'm used to. Tell us about Thursday night's game. How'd you feel the defense did?
I feel like we did really good. Our first team didn't let a first down, but I feel like we executed what we needed to do.
Good. How many tackles did you have?
I had 6.
Great. And we called your name out several times. So looking back, do you feel like this was one of your better defensive efforts of the year? Or?
Yes, sir. I do.
Certainly, it's kind of hard to top the one the week before with the shutout and the 2 first downs. But
Yes,
they did get a couple of pretty long plays. One I think was a long run, one was a long pass, and I realized it was after the game was decided. But y'all don't like to even give those up, do you?
No, sir, we don't.
Okay, so I guess that's something to work on this week, getting ready for Pickens.
Yes, sir.
A long trip ahead of us, and it's a region game, so it's got some extra strings attached to it.
Yes,
What are y'all doing to prepare this week for Pickens?
We're just practicing hard, watching film, and doing what we can.
Just trying to keep the routine going, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, great. Well, this is your senior year, and you're one of our senior class that has not lost a game in the regular season, so I know you want to keep that streak alive as well, but the importance of this week, I think, would be to try to get a home playoff game, right?
Yes, sir. I agree. They're 2-0 in the region. We're trying to be 3-0 in the region. So if we win this, we got playoffs all the way home.
There you go. So looks like y'all are focused on what needs to be done, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations to you on being our Defensive Player of the Week. You had a great game. We're proud to recognize you and let the folks at home get a chance to see what you look like without pads and a helmet on.
Yes, sir.
And we'll let you step aside and bring in our Offensive Player of the game. I think maybe for the second time. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Sophomore?
Yes, sir.
Sophomore, number 13, Jordan Benbrook, was our Offensive Player of the game. Jordan had 101 yards rushing. I remember several times he had some good long runs. And you're one of those punishing runners that
yes, sir.
You like for people to hit you so you can hit them
Yes,
back,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, is this your first 100-yard game?
I think so. It's the first time I ran the ball.
I knew it was the first 100-yard game here, so you had a great night on offense, and you're just a sophomore, so we're looking forward to great things for the next couple of years. Hopefully this is the start of something big on the offense.
Yes, sir.
Is that the way you're looking at it?
Yes, sir.
There you go. So looking back, and I realize it's been almost a week now, oddly enough, since it was a Thursday night game, but what are some things you remember about last Thursday night?
We just played a good game all around, really. Defense shut them out. Offense was doing pretty good. Doing what we're supposed to do.
And like I said, you had a lot of yards after contact. I don't imagine that we keep that stat, so I don't know how many yards you had after contact, but I know you got hit several times and just kept on going. And that's
just kept
part of
moving
it.
my feet.
Yeah, the yards after contact, sometimes the biggest yards you get, aren't they? So, well, so how are you feeling about this week? You plan on being a bigger part of the offense this week?
Yes, sir, hopefully.
Have you and the coaches discussed that yet?
Yeah, I'm just going to go out there and do what I need to do.
Do what they ask you, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's great. Well, that's all anybody can expect of any player on any team. And we congratulate you, as we did Trent, on being our Offensive Player of the game. And let's get out there and see if you can get it again this week.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. All right, we're going to switch over now to Coach Jason Allen.
Hey, Calvin.
Howdy, how are you?
I'm good.
Great to be 7-0, huh?
Yeah, that definitely beats the alternative. We're excited.
Beats 0-7 all to pieces,
That's
doesn't it? All right. Well, before we turn our attention to this week, talk a little bit about last Thursday night. How you feel that went?
Yeah, it was interesting. Playing on a Thursday night's different. Success is a newly formed program, and they had some good athletes, but as you can tell, there's a difference between having athletes and having football players. And, our guys have played a lot of football, and they understand understand the physicality of the game, and I thought that really showed through. And just excited, that we were able to execute, I thought, at a high level and really jump out to a big lead, and all our guys got to play in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just talking with Jordan about that, asking if he'd ever had a 100-yard game before. He said it's the first time he'd ever run the ball.
Well, he's running some this year, and I tell you, I think he really gives us a solid 1-2 punch at running back.
I agree.
He does a great job. He runs behind his pads. He's always low. He's got good quickness, and he holds on to the football. So I think he's really got a bright future carrying the ball for us here at Chambers.
Yeah, gets a lot of yards after contact, and that's what you look for as a coach, isn't it?
Absolutely. He falls forward and gets that extra 2 or 3, too.
That's always a help. Trent was telling us when we interviewed him that Pickens is 2-0 in the region. I didn't realize that.
That's correct. They're 2-0 just like we are. So it's kind of a shootout to see really who's going to jump ahead and take control of the region. So we're excited about that. It's a long trip. We look for them to be excited because of the fact that I'm sure they pointed that out to their team, and they got a lot to play for. So we'll go over there and expect to get their best shot.
And which 2 region teams have they defeated?
They've beat Cornerstone and Meadowview, to my knowledge.
And we've beaten Cornerstone, so we still have Meadowview yet to play. That'll be our last region game a week from this Friday. As we come back home, be good to get back home after 4 weeks, won't it?
Yeah, it seems like it's been a while. We did get to stay home a long time, but with that same amount of time we've been on the road, so we're eager to get back here in front of our fans at Torbert Field.
Interesting thing about this season, we had 4 games at home, 4 on the road, and if things go according to plan, we'll have 4 more at home.
Yeah, they can kind of break that down into thirds, huh?
Yeah, 4, 4, and 4.
Yeah, and we hope we win those 4 again and get a chance to play in Troy. That would be the goal.
Looking ahead for our fans that sort of keep up with what's going on elsewhere, who are the 4 looking like the 4 teams in the other region are going to be?
I think Crenshaw and Wilcox are the clear-cut favorites on that side, and they're going to play, I think, here in a week next week. And the winner of that game is probably going to shake out to be the 1 seed. The loser's probably going to be the 2 seed. And then I think you're looking at a three-way race for 3rd and 4th between Abbeville, Sparta, and Jackson Academy. So that's kind of how we're thinking it's going to shake out, but you never know until they play.
So that'll probably come down to a tiebreaker then.
Well, yeah, it could. It just depends on who wins what game or who beats who head-to-head.
And we're pretty well assured of 1 home playoff game. Is that basically correct?
Well, if we win Friday night,
Okay.
yes, we will definitely be at home in the playoffs the first round. If we can win Friday and next Friday, then we'll be the outright region champs, and we'll get to stay here all year long.
That's great. So we've already talked about what's at stake here. What do you know about Pickens as far as their offensive strengths and defensive strengths?
Well, first of all, Pickens is one of the storied programs in the AISA. Have won many state championships, so they got a lot of proud heritage, and they'll have a lot of fight in them. They got a new coach. Their coach, I got off the phone with him today. He's been at Crenshaw Christian Academy, and then he was most recently in a public school down in Red Level, Alabama, and then he went over to Pickens this year. So he's been around some good football, and he runs the spread on offense, and then he runs the ice. So that's kind of 2 different worlds in football terms. So we got to be prepared for both. And then defensively, he's an odd man front. He runs a 3-4 defense, which we see a lot these days.
Okay, so obviously you've been watching films and dissecting them as you do every week with your opposition. It's going to be a long trip. What's that, maybe a 4-hour trip?
Yeah, it's close, no doubt. So we got to be prepared for that. I think you got that's a mental thing, preparing for a trip like that, and we'll try to break it up somewhere around Montgomery and eat lunch, and then try to finish up the trip and get them over there and get their legs back under them.
I've never been over there personally, but I know in our football history we've been there a couple of times for the playoffs. Don't know if you were on either one of those teams.
Yeah, I was in 1989. I was a freshman or sophomore. An 8th grader or freshman one, and we went over there and played those guys in the playoffs. in a torrential
I was
rainstorm.
going to ask you if that was the year of the storm.
It was. And other than that, I can't remember us even going to Pickens Academy for any kind of athletic event. So it's pushing 30 years since we've been over there.
Wow. Well, we'll be there Friday night. If you can't make the trip, we hope you can. But if you can't make the trip, we're going to do our best to bring it to you live on our YouTube channel. That school is in a very rural area, even more rural probably than we're in. So we're not sure what we're going to find out with the internet service over there, but we'll do the best we can. So y'all tune in. If you can't join us on YouTube, and we'll see you Friday night.
And always remember, it's great to play for the C and the A.
See you